Hi, I'm Arturo from El Observador in the Bay Area. How are you, Gabriel and Ricardo?
Good,
Hey,
Arturo.
how are you, Arturo?
Thank you very much for taking time to talk on Selena the series.
A
Absolutely.
pleasure.
To start off, I wanted to know a little bit about your depictions of the characters in the show. How would you describe your interpretations of A.B. and Abraham Quintanilla in the show?
Uh, for me, I think AB, uh, he's a very honest. I guess I would say honest uh portrayal. I mean, that's the way I approach it, right? He AB cared about his family. He cared about his family just as much as Selena and every member of the Quintanilla family did. They really loved each other. They really cared for each other, and they're a family that's working and that work together, and that's it's very unique. You don't really uh have that so much. So and they understood what they wanted to do. They knew what their goals were. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew how they wanted to do it. And ultimately they did that, because they were always there for each other. They made sure to stick with each other, especially during the toughest times. And and you'll be able to see that in the show.
Thank you. And Ricardo, how about yourself?
Well, I'm from South Texas. I am Mexican American. Abraham is of a certain age and of a certain generation. My father is close to him in age and of that exact same generation. So, I had, as well as a lot of my tios, so I had a very deep well of information to draw from. I also am a father. I have a teenage boy and a preteen girl, and I would consider myself probably an old school style parent. Maybe a little bit stricter than most. So there was a lot of information, a lot of things that I was reading in the script that were already readily accessible to me. But I wanted to make sure and do my due diligence, and so I studied a lot of Abraham's interviews, so that I could hear his cadence and the way he talked, and his demeanor and the way he held himself, during these public interviews, and then just used my background as a Mexican American man and the Mexican American men in my life to inform me how to go about making decisions when we were interpreting these scenes as a family.
Thank you. Um, my next question has to do with how you feel that this show will add to add to the legacy of Selena. In what ways do you think it might add to it?
Um, I think, look, like I said, I grew up in South Texas, so she and I were born the same year. When I was graduating high school, she was graduating high school. I was reading and seeing on our local newscasts all the concerts that she was giving and the successes that she was having and the awards she was winning. So for me, I was like, oh, well, I know this story. I know a lot about it. But in reading these scripts, there's so many things that I learned, specifically as it pertains to the family and the family dynamic. And I know that some of this stuff is fictionalized to a certain degree, but there's a lot of truth in what we're bringing to the table with these episodes and with this series. And a lot of it was very new to me, and there was a lot of things that when I read, I was just moved because I immediately identified with some of these very humble beginnings, and the sacrifices and the struggles that they had. So I think that's something that we're bringing new that will allow her legacy to live on through our series as well.
Gabriel,
Sorry.
how do you feel that this will contribute to Selena's legacy, in your opinion?
The show? You mean the
Hmm.
show?
Yeah.
Um, I think it's gonna impact definitely the newer generation, because for those that they everyone knows Selena the icon, they know the legend. But now they're gonna really get to know Selena Quintanilla the person. They're gonna see her grow and ultimately also the family, of course. The family is you'll see in the show that there is no Selena without her family members, without her father, without her brother, without her sister, without her mother. So um I think that it's gonna reach, Selena's legacy is gonna reach even places even further, you know what I mean? So um and it's gonna be, it's a great show. It's a great show. It's about family, and I think a lot of people who don't even know Selena, will still enjoy the show and relate a lot to what the show has to offer.
Thank you. And for both of you, this question: was there any challenges that you can speak on when either fleshing out the characters or during the shooting? Any type of challenges like that that you might remember?
I think
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Go.
yeah, I think for me was definitely the learning of learning how to play the bass. I never played an instrument, so that was definitely challenging. Was one of the challenges, I would say. But once you started picking it up, it started to become really really fun to play, and I really like the instrument. I have my own bass now, so um, and it was fun. It was fun, and I gotta say, AB was was really good, man. It's he's writing these hit songs, he's playing the bass, he's up there dancing with Selena. Like, he was an amazing performer, just as much as the rest of the Selena and Los Dinos were.
Thank you. And Ricardo?
We started this back in October of 2019, and we were working for those few months, and then we took our holiday break, and then we came back and started working, and we were really hitting our stride. And I thought we were getting a lot of great stuff with the performances, the concert performances, a lot of the intimate scenes that we were doing with the family dynamic. I think everybody was really clicking on all cylinders, and then we got hit with COVID, and all of a sudden we got to slam on the brakes and completely halt production for 5.5 months. So I would say that was pretty damn challenging, when it's like you're rolling as a production and as actors, and we're cooking and we're really feeling these characters, and then we have to like take this huge break, and then come back and try and find it. I'm not saying that it took a little bit of time. I think everybody came back and was ready to work and was happy to be back working, but it created its own set of complications with the protocols and stuff. So it was there were a lot of things that were going on in the world, as we were shooting this production, that I think frames it in such a way that it's a production that none of us will ever forget.
Thank you, Ricardo. And my final question, thanks again, Gabriel and Ricardo, uh, was with the show coming out, I believe in a week or so. Looking back at it all, what do you hope that viewers take away from this show and your work within the show?
Um, for me, just the importance of family. I think that that's something that we have really captured with this series. With the writing, and just a really intimate portrayal and an in-depth look at who the Quintanillas were, and how much that the work of the entire family built their success, the foundation for their success, and catapulted Selena into the legendary status that she now holds.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Yeah, I would say exactly, what Ricardo was saying. Like, I think that's what I want, the audience to take away, is that, that this show is about family, and you'll see that. You'll definitely see that, and every single member of this family was important, and it's I think the audience will appreciate how much passion that each individual put into the success of the Quintanilla families and Selena's success. So I think that's what they're gonna resonate with for sure.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Ricardo, for your time. Appreciate it.
You got it, Arturo. Thank you.
Arturo, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
One.
All right, you too.
Thank you, Arturo. And cut, please.